fabulous day and a productive one as well. So, if you are new to me, my name is Grace Marie Brown, international ghostwriter and book coach, and I help my clients to convert their ideas, knowledge, and resources to non-fictional books. If you're joining me live, go ahead and say hi. I'm just going to share this out into my groups and then I will get started. If you're catching this on the replay, you can go ahead and put hashtag replay. Thank you for watching the replay. And if you're catching this on a watch party, then hashtag watch party. Happy that you are here, and you can always post your comments or post your questions inside the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to answer those questions for you. So as a ghostwriter and a book coach, I engage with people a lot who actually want to write their book. And earlier this year, I did put up a post asking individuals who want to publish their book for 2019. And there were like tons and tons and tons and tons of people who responded. And it really doesn't surprise me because the statistics have shown, I think, 8 or 9 out of 10, every 10 American actually wants to write a book. I've never really met somebody who said, I don't want to write a book, right? The majority of individuals I ever meet and encounter tell me that they want to write a story, they want to write a book, they want to share their story, they've thought about writing a book, somebody told them they need to write a book, something like that. It's always around those type of different things. But one of the most shocking part of it all, and it's shocking to me because I have the type of personality, and as you come and say hi, I have a type of personality where if I want to get something done, I just get it done. Like, it's either I want to do it or I don't want to do it. There's really never for me an in-between space. And so anytime I find myself not doing something that I'm supposed to do, it's oftentimes because I don't really want to do it. So when people would say to me, well, I want to write a book, and I'll be like, okay, so what has been stopping you from writing the book? And when people say to me, well, I've been trying to write a book for years, I'm like, what is stopping you? Like, we are in an age and an era where self-publishing has made it so super, super, super easy to actually publish your book. Like, a 9-year-old can do it, a 5-year-old can do it. It's super easy to get it done, right? So you don't need a literary agent, you don't need a self-publishing company. Truth be told, if you really want to get this done, you don't even need somebody like me, right? If you're determined enough to get it done, you can get it done. So I oftentimes want to know what is actually stopping people from writing their books. And the more I talk to people and the more I engage with my audience, they oftentimes comes up with 3 various different reasons why they don't want to write the book. And the truth be told, at the end of the day, none of those reasons are the real reasons behind why you haven't written your book, right? Because here's the thing, right? And I'm not telling you something that I myself have not experienced. When I was writing my first book, I didn't know jack about how to self-publish a book. I didn't know anything about formatting a book. I didn't know anything about what was the process of writing a book. Like, I didn't know any of those things. But what I did have was this determination that I wanted to publish this book. I wanted to publish this book for myself as part of my therapy. And I wanted to publish this book so that other moms can see that, hey, what you're feeling, what you're going through is something that other people are experiencing, and here's how you can cope. Like, that was my driving motivation to write my book. So it didn't matter to me that I didn't have a budget, I didn't have no literary agent, I had no formal training in publishing, and we could do a whole live about all the chronic mistakes that I made in my first book, like really chronic mistakes that I was able to fix 2 years after, when I became an expert in the field. But I wasn't an expert in the field at that time, right? And I took it upon myself to learn it. Why? Because it was important to me. So when you say to me, I don't have the time. I cannot find the time to write the book. Why haven't you written the book, Grace? I want to write a book. Why haven't you written it yet? What is stopping you? I can't find the time to write it. I want you to take that excuse, wrap it up in a piece of paper, and throw it in the garbage, because that's exactly what it is. Everybody on this planet has the same amount of time. You ain't got no more time than me. I ain't got no more time than you. It's 24 hours. That's it. That's all you get. And we're all busy people. I don't know if anybody who ain't busy. Even the person who is homeless is busy doing what they need to be doing every single day to survive and stay alive. So everybody is busy. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I go to church. I have a ministry. I have a business. I have a mom who calls me and annoys me. I have a dad who calls me and spend like half an hour, 45 minutes on the phone just talking. I got siblings. I got everybody. And I'm a go-to person in my family. So we're all busy. For you, it might look different. Prior to being married, I was also busy. It don't matter where you are in life, because people will be like, well, I'm a wife and you're not a wife. No. We're all going to be busy. Why? Because we're all going to do something that every single human being does. We occupy our 24 hours with what is most important to us. And you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I know I'm not wrong. And what is important to you might be different to me. A person who is depressed and sit and lounge on a sofa for all day, 24 hours, guess what? Is doing what they feel is most important to them at that point, which is just not doing anything. So at the end of the day, we are going to fill our 24 hours with the things that we think are important. So when you say to me, I cannot find the time to write my book, you're telling me your book isn't important. And I know that cannot be the case. So once you accept the fact that your book is important and it's important for this reason or that reason, then you're going to find a time to write your book. Here's a myth. You don't have to write your book in 5 days, in 7 days, and 30 days. And this has been part of why, as a book coach, you will never, ever hear me come out and say, I'm doing a challenge to write your book in 30 days, or I'm doing a challenge to write your book in 7 days. I am ever doing it because I know from my own experience that the average person who wants to write their book is not going to do it in 7 days. They're not going to do it in 30 days. Okay, I am, as a professional ghostwriter, I write books every single day. Well, not every single day now. Now my writing days are Tuesdays and Thursdays, right? But when I do that, I still sit with my clients for a period of 4, sometimes 6 months to finish their books. So when people talk about, oh, well, finish your book in 7 days, I don't subscribe to that. And I believe that messaging prevents a lot of you from actually writing your book, because you believe that you can do it in 30 days or you can do it in 7 days. No. So let's do some quick maths associated with this. If you can take an hour out of your day, just 1 hour, and not 1 hour all at one time, if you decide, I'm just going to wake up 30 minutes earlier and go to bed 30 minutes later, or I'm going to wake up 30 minutes earlier and take 30 minutes out of my lunchtime, and I'm going to go and actually write my book, a piece of my book, listen, you will finish approximately 500 words in that 1 hour. If you are I don't care how slow of a typer you are or a writer you are, 1 hour at least is going to give you 500 words, okay? If you're going to write a standard 100-page book, that's approximately 20,000 words, right? You divide that by 500, that's 40. Do you know what that means? It will literally take you 40 days if you just commit 1 hour per day to writing one piece of your book. It will take you 40 days. You've already wasted all of almost 6 months out of the year because you're waiting on a time when you have time. You will never, ever, 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 ever have time. You won't have it. You won't have the time. So stop saying, I don't have the time, I don't have the time. The time you have in your head as to what is required, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have a whole week free. Who has a whole week free? Nobody has that. Nobody even has a whole weekend free. We have to purposely make that available and make that time available. All right. So one of the things that I'm doing this year is I'm doing a weekend retreat for authors so that you can start and finish your draft in that weekend, right? And you'll have that time blocked out. No, that worked for some people and it don't work for other people. Okay. Some people like that blocked out time, but guess what? Those people that come on those type of retreats, they consciously say, bye husband, bye children, bye work. This is what I'm doing for the weekend so that they can have that accountability. And that works. It works because then now you have a cool 48 hours to totally work on your book, right? But the truth be told, if you don't have the money to go to a retreat like that, or you don't have the money, you don't have the time to block out a whole weekend, or the ability to block out a whole 24 hours, you can block out an hour. And if you don't want to do an hour, block out half an hour. That's going to just take you up to literally 80 days. Okay, so it's going to take you 80 hours, 80 days to complete that just by doing half an hour every day. Are you telling me you can't find half an hour every day for a book that's going to change people's lives? You can find that 30 minutes. You can find that 1 hour, and that's all you have to do to make sure that you get to that point that you want to. If it is important to you, you will find the time to do it. I'm going to an event at the end of June, and it's important to me that I have the book that I'm working on now there at the event. Nobody, my children, my husband, maybe the only thing that can stop me is God telling me, no, don't do this book. That's the only thing that will stop me. But no child, no husband, no nothing is going to prevent me from getting that book done. Why? Because it's important to me that I have it done for that specific event. So, is it important to you? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Is your book important to you? Because if it's important to you, you can find half an hour. I guarantee you can find half an hour. And I know you can find half an hour because sometime either this week or sometime anywhere in the month, a friend is going to call you up and go be like, hey girl, do you want to do this? Hey girl, I just bought a house and I'm having a home warming. What are you going to say? You're not going to go to your best friend's home warming. Or you have a friend who just got married and she says, oh my God, I just got married. I have an engagement party. Are you not going to go to your best friend's engagement party? How long does any of these events last for, right? 30 minutes? No. An hour, sometimes 2 hours, right? How do you find the time to do that? You find the time because you have prioritized and set in your brain schedule, this is important. So what do I need to change this Saturday so that I can go to my friend's home warming? I don't have, for this weekend, I'm supposed to go to the zoo. There are a couple of other things that we have on our schedule, and I'm looking at the schedule now. But if a friend of mine call me and say, hey, I totally forgot to tell you that your goddaughter is getting an award at school on Saturday. Are you going to be able to come? Of course, I would find it. I would shift something around on the schedule and go there. Why? Because she's important to me and her getting an award is important to me. So even though I only have like 2 days to make this happen, I'm going to make it happen. Okay, so we find time for the things that are important. The big question is your book important? And I know it's important to you, it's important to the people you want to write it for. So just find the time to write it. And if you're one of those individuals who need a whole weekend, you want to block out some time and have that level of accountability, then inbox me and we can talk about my retreat that I'm having in September and how you can be a part of that, right? Second reason I get about what is stopping people from writing their book is money. Now, I will say money is a valid reason. It's valid. It's valid to a certain extent, okay? It's valid to the extent of what you think it's gonna cost you to actually write your book. That's how valid it is. If you think it's gonna cost you $2,000 to write your book and you ain't got $2,000 in your bank account, then yeah, money is preventing you from writing your book. If you think it's gonna cost you $5,000, then yeah, and you don't got that in your bank account, then money is definitely preventing you. But a lot of you don't even know what it costs to finish your book. You don't inquire, you don't do free consultation. Sharita is here, she's a publisher. You don't go and do a free consultation. You don't do a free consultation with me. You don't ask questions. You don't Google it. You don't know, but you say money is the issue. So let me give you a little bit of a reality check. As much as I'm a ghostwriter and I charge upwards of $5,000 for my ghostwriting services, upwards of $2,000 for my book coaching services, let me tell you something straight and real and no fluff in this thing. If you ain't got no money, that is, you got zero. You can't get no line of credit. You ain't got no credit card. You can't get no PayPal capital credit. You ain't got you zero. You are living paycheck to paycheck, and that might even run out. You are probably living paycheck to paycheck and daddy helping you type of living, right? If that is where you are, let me just tell you this. Like woman to woman, person to person, you can do it. You can get it done without having any money. I'm telling you, you can get it done. And the reason I can tell you that, despite the fact that I offer this paid service, the reason I can tell you that is because I did it. In 2015, early 2015, I had savings in my account and stuff like that, but I was in transition between a career I didn't want to be in, right? And wanting to be in a work at home mom. And I hadn't figured it out yet, but I wanted to write my book, and that did not stop me. So I didn't hire anybody when I was writing my first book because I genuinely didn't have the money. But it didn't stop me, right? Did I make some mistakes along the way? Sure, but that book was published. It was published. I got reviews from people I didn't know. It became an international bestseller. That book got me into ghostwriting. If I had sat there January 2015, if I sat there and said to myself, oh, I don't got the money and I don't know how to publish a book, I would never be able to say to you now that I'm a ghostwriter and book coach. I wouldn't, because that book is the reason I became a ghostwriter. If you've never heard my story before, I published my book 24 hours later. This dude emails me. He's like, I love your book. I write a lot of Amazon books, and I would love to hire you as a ghostwriter for my parenting book. I have written over 12 titles for that guy in Australia. Okay, so if I had said, no, I'm not going to write my book because I don't have the money or I don't have the time or all these various different reasons, guess what? I would never be where I am now. So I want you to get out of that. If money is really something that's preventing you, I'm telling you, you can do it without money. It's a little bit harder. I ain't trying to lie to you or anything. It's a little bit harder, but you can do it if you don't have the money. If money is really the problem, then if you don't have it, you can get it done. If a limited budget is your problem, because some of you have put a figure up there. Why? Because you listen to people online who tell you it costs them thousands of dollars to publish their book, or cost them this amount of money to publish the book. And you have to listen. Somebody might block me today, but listen, don't get caught up in the fluff. Really, don't get caught up in the fluff. At the end of the day, you're gonna hire a ghostwriter, it's gonna be more expensive. Why? Because the person is doing the work for you. If you hire a book coach, it's more expensive than you doing it. Why? Because that you're hiring that person's time. However, there are courses. I'm the owner of a brand called Pen to Publish. Do you know what our mission is? My mission when I created Pen to Publish was to create digital products to help DIY authors, nobody else, DIY authors to actually write and publish their books like a pro, but on a limited budget. So if you have a limited budget, Pen to Publish is for you. There are tons, loads of help there to get you. And if I had that help when I was writing my book, I wouldn't have made half the mistakes. The formatting was a headache. The book cover was a headache. Like there were plenty of things I just didn't get right. I didn't even know about Author Central until maybe a year or two later. There were so many things I got wrong. Thank God I actually put my email inside the book. So at least I did something right. And I was able to connect with that person in Australia, right? But don't allow money to stand in the way of writing a great book. Don't allow money to be the determinant for that. Really don't do it. The third reason, the excuse, and I'm calling them excuses now because they are excuses. As a mom, I have 3 autistic kids. One is verbal, so he's the only one I can really have like almost neurotypical conversations with. Comes up with all the excuses in the world why he can't do his homework or why he can't clean up his room or why he can't do this. So this is why I'm calling them excuses, because they're not real reasons what's stopping you from writing your book. You are just saying what you feel like or saying what you have told yourself all this time as to why you're not writing your book. And whatever preconceived notions you have in your head or whatever preconceived information you have somehow downloaded from a third party or elsewhere, that is causing you from not writing your book, right? So the third thing that people tell me is, I don't know how to. Listen, if my 7-year-old autistic son has a question that I can't answer, you know what he does right in front of me? He asks Google. Mommy, I don't think you know what you're talking about, so I'm gonna ask Google or ask Siri. So when you say to me, you don't know the process of writing your book, there are tons and tons and tons of information out there. I mean, almost everybody who has ever written a book turn around and almost become a book coach. So there are tons and tons of people out there who can tell you what that process is at the end of the day. When people say to me, I don't know what the process is, I'm like, okay, that's an excuse because there are tons and tons of information everywhere. YouTube, blogs, free content, paid content. Like knowing the process is really, really, really could never be an excuse. I teach this all the time. You can go in the author's classroom and binge watch all my videos for the past 5 years, and I assure you, you will know the process. Okay. There's even one video in the author's classroom that walks you through the very process. Just 2 weeks ago, or maybe a week and a half ago, I did a full video called Self-Publishing Explained. You can go and get that. I have a $19.99 product called the Author's Checklist that walks you through 127 steps from the point of idea to the point of actually publishing your book. The know-how can never, ever, ever be a valid reason and can never be stopping you from writing your book. And I know that to be true because we can go back to the same principle. What are you doing now that you never knew how to do at some point in time? Because we all get into this world with this. zero knowledge. Okay? When I came out as a baby, I don't know about you, I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk. Okay? The only thing I know how to do was to latch on to a breast and cry. And as a matter of fact, scientists will tell you that crying is something that a child learns as a way to respond to whatever is happening in their environment. So they cry, they get your attention. If they're wet, they cry because they can't talk. So that's the only thing that they know. So they learn to do that too. So at the end of the day, we're all learning, right? We are all learning to do this thing. So you didn't know maths, you went and you learned, right? Okay. I don't know how to be a mom. Every single day is a learning process for me. A couple years ago, I wouldn't even know how to tell you how to use a rice cooker because I didn't even cook with a rice cooker. Okay, let's just keep it real here, okay? And there were plenty of things that I am doing now that I never knew before. Before I met my husband, I knew zilch about Canva. What? Canva? What is that? I don't know. I could not do nothing called graphic design, nothing like that. And now I'm literally teaching a class on Canva, like literally teaching it. I have moved from the point of learning it from my husband to now I'm teaching it to my clients. With what? Over 40 people signed up for our class? Listen, if you don't know how to do something and you want to learn how to do it, guess what you're going to do? You're going to have to reach out to the people who know or try to get the information. And that is another aspect of priority, because if writing your book is important and ignorance is what is stopping you from getting there, then you really should just break down that wall and go and find out from people. I have people who inbox me tons and tons of questions that I know other coaches would charge them, and I answer them. You know why I answer them? Because I wish I had somebody I could ask when I was doing mine in 2015. I didn't have anybody to ask. But I did my research, and some people aren't necessarily good at research, but here's the deal. If know-how is stopping you, there are too many people online. There's me, and there are too many content that I have between my personal page, my business page, the author's classroom, the entrepreneur class, but too much for you to be in a position of ignorance. It's just too much, okay? Pamela asked, I wrote a workbook, got the ISBN number, got the barcode, now I'm stuck. You need to publish it, Pamela. So I don't know if you were, where you got the workbook done or where you design it, but you can publish it. You can publish it on KDP and they'll print it for you and publish it to Amazon, or you can use another platform called the Book Patch. Since you already have an ISBN, you can use any of those platforms, Ingram Spark, Lulu, any of them, to actually print your workbook. If you want the workbook to the spiral, you're gonna have to use Lulu or use KDP, or use the Book Patch, not KDP. KDP only does perfect binding. So I'll give you a good example. The consultation notebook, like one of my #1 selling business books that I've actually created for myself, and now I sell it to entrepreneurs, is spiral and it's done through the Book Patch. And I have a perfect binding option for it, but it's available on Amazon. Okay, so you see, you don't know, you ask questions. That's how it works. What am I gonna say to her? You need to book a consultation or send you a link? No, I mean, for me, if you just ask me a question, I'm just gonna answer your question. Now, if you're gonna dig deep and take a lot of my time, that's a whole different story, right? But at the end of the day, your not knowing should not prevent you, right? There, as I said before, services, coaching services, people who will answer questions, you know, very low cost options for you to really get to know the process, all right? But at the end of the day, all of these excuses, the time, the money, the know-how, I call them excuses because at the end of the day, the answer to the question, what's stopping you from writing your book, there's only one answer. And this is going to be hard, but it's you. That's it. That's it. Nobody else. Not me, not time, not money, not know-how, not your kids, not your husband. You. Okay? So you at the end of the day are the reason why you're not writing your book. And you have to, and this is not for you to beat upon yourself or anything like that. Far from it. It's for you to recognize that all of these things, all of these reasons that you put forward, they are only excuses. Fear, all of those things that you put in front and say, I'm not going to do it because of this, or I haven't done it because of this. These are all part of fear, generally speaking. And so at the end of the day, you have to confront the real reason. And the real reason is you. It's sad, but it's you. Okay, it's you. And so I've always been this person who I'm like, listen, I want to, my goal, and I get people blow up my inbox more. It's kind of funny to me because the people who blow up my inbox are not the people I want to blow up my inbox. The people who blow up my inbox are coaches who love to tell me that I give away too much information. Those are the people who blow up my inbox, and they annoy me. And they annoy me because my goal is to help authors to write their books. And I've sat on a mission and I've proclaimed a mission associated with people, especially people who have a limited budget. I work with very high paying clients, and then I work with clients who are literally paying me like $25 per month for 4 months for a digital product. Like, those are the gamut of the people that I serve. But I feel very, very close and attached to people who are DIY authors because I see in them what I was in 2015. Right? And so it comes full circle back to my story in 2015 because I really can identify with these individuals who are DIY, who want to DIY it and who may or may not have the funds to do it, right? And so at the end of the day, I want you to blow up my inbox. Yeah, come into my inbox and ask me the questions. Let me navigate you to the resources that you need. Let me navigate you to maybe the digital products that's going to fit into your budget, or we can jump on and get a really quick on-demand coaching call that you can do. Like, I'm trying to make sure that nobody has any more excuses when it comes on to writing their books. And the reason is because I've never written a book, not one book. And as much as this right here is the one that's in front of me, it's a consultation notebook. It is literally what I use a consultation. It's right in front of me because I was doing consultations today. And I created this for myself. And when I showed it to individuals inside the entrepreneur classroom, they're like, I want that. So I created a book and I sell it. It's as easy as that, right? And as much as that's a really simple book, there's nothing in there about my life story. I don't share in the book anything about how to get consultations or anything else. I don't do none of that, okay? I just simply sell the book. People know what it's for and they use it. And even with that book, very simple book, notebook, people tell me, oh my God, I love this. This is really changing how I'm doing consultations. I have a system in place. Da, 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 da. I can go back and I can review. People tell me all of these things and I'm like, whoa, a consultation notebook changed somebody's life. So let me tell you this. As you think of any book that you think about doing, I can assure you it's going to change somebody's life. It will. It may not be 1 million people. May not be 10,000 people. It may not even be 1,000 people. But I remember once I posted on my Facebook, I posted and I asked, if you knew that one person's life will be changed by you writing your book, would you do it? And everybody said yes. Everybody said yes. Well, I'm telling you this much. that your book is going to change the life of somebody else. It will. Because every single book that I have written has changed the life of somebody else. And I didn't think it would either, but it did. So that's why I can say to you now that it will. It will. And whether you're writing a story or it's content or it's information or anything like that, it will help you. It will help you. All right. So I want you to start to evaluate what are those excuses you're telling yourself. And I really want you to quit the excuses. It's just time to quit the excuses. Okay, just quit the excuses. Inbox me, tell me what your excuses are, and I will let you know how you can quit those excuses and get on the track to actually writing this book that's going to change people's lives, transform people, and all these various different lovely stuff. All right. So thank you again for joining me. If you have any questions, you can always post them in the comment section. Hashtag replay for those who catch me on the replay. Hashtag watch party for those who catch me on the watch party. I hope I wasn't too harsh with you guys. I've been doing this for a while. I think I do at least 3 of this type of live every single year. I do it at the beginning of the year because that's when people always think I want to write a book this year. I do it in the middle because oftentimes none of you ain't get to that point of actually finishing the book. And I generally do it sometime down the end of the year to kind of be like, hey, like there's still time to get this done. And I really want you to not allow 2020 to come in and still be in the space of like, oh, I want to write my book. Stop talking about it and just get it done, right? Stop talking about it and let's just write that book. All right. So continue to have a very productive day. And until then, I look forward to connecting with you guys in the very near future.